presentation?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, hey guys, my name is Avi, or Avi Lake. I'm a developer in Kathmandu, and this is my talk on keeping your secrets safe using Rails. So, this is a very brief talk on how to use the default features provided in Ruby on Rails to keep sensitive informations in a scrambled state, so that you can access those values, but then hackers poachers in sites like GitHub and GitLab, where we commit our repos, cannot get to it. So think about your AWS credentials, your different API keys and passwords, right? So let's get started. So it's actually very easy to to store secrets in Rails. Rails already provides us with the tools to do it, but it's the laziness as developers that we need to it. At least I need to fight it. I put that line there because of my own laziness and how I had to learn it the hard way that you need to store pretty much anything that is sensitive regarding your application and and other features, other third-party features that you use in your application, so that nothing sensitive goes out there in version control. Okay, so it's basically very simple, right? So what you need to understand is that Rails provides us in a new Rails application, there is a master.key file inside the config directory. That is actually the hash that Rails uses to decode your secrets in credentials.yml.enc. So you write your secrets inside credentials.yml.enc. Rails uses the master.key inside your config directory to decode it and then provide you the values. And when it is encoded, the credentials, the secrets that you keep in Rails are actually in a scrambled state. So anyone who does not have access to the master.key value will only see a scrambled text. Okay, so uh, it's all scrambled for a hacker or a poacher, right? So I'm actually going to do I'm actually going to share my uh, I'm actually going to just share my terminal with you, just so I can show you the general flow of adding secrets and then using it in a Rails app. So let me just figure out how to do that here. I don't think you guys can see my terminal screen, right? Can you see my terminal screen?
No, we cannot.
No, not yet.
Okay. Let me just do this. So yeah, I think now you can see my terminal screen. So
Yes.
so yeah, I'm inside a Rails repo called experiment that I created just for this. And yeah, it's a Rails repo. And so we actually need to edit our config/credentials file, and there is a special Rails command for it. So it's Rails credentials edit. So once you hit that, it's going to open your credentials file. And this is how you store secrets. So there is a key, and this is basic YML, right? There's a key, and then you can have nested keys, and then you can also not nest keys. So I have a nested hash structure called JavaScript books I own, and I have 3 books in there. And then I have an important API key. So so let me just create another secret here to edit it. So it just another secret. Anyone? No. Okay, so I added another secret, and then I'm just gonna save this file and exit. So I've saved it and exited it. So now we need a way to access the values that we have put inside our credentials file, right? So we need to access our secrets. So the way we can do that is actually fairly simple. I'm just going to open up my Rails console. So it's actually rails.application, application.credentials, credentials dot, so if I just do this, you can see the structure that it's in. So uh wait. So the structure is actually, there is a config instance file that stores all your secrets inside a hash like structure, and you can just access them using uh, the dot syntax. All right, so the last key that I created, the last secret that I added was another secret, so I can just do another secret, and then I have the value, don't let anyone know, right? So for a nested structure, you can also use the dot secret, but I like to use the dig syntax. So I can just do dig, um, whatever it is, JavaScript books I own, right? JavaScript books I own, comma, book two. So this will give me the value of book two, which is how to become cooler by learning React in 7 days. Uh, so yeah, this is the basic workflow, and you can just use the same Rails application, the credentials dot your key value, your key, to in anywhere in the Rails app to have access to your secrets. And the one other thing that I would like to point out is that your master dot your secrets are not available like by default in production environment. Okay, that's because the master dot key file that is used by Rails to decode your secrets is actually not checked into version control. So it is a very sensitive file, and it is by default not checked into version control. So the way we make the secret key, the master dot key available in production environment in Heroku is really simple, right? So all we need to do is this command, is Heroku config set. So this is a variable, all right? This is a Rails master key variable. And then you just set this variable to the contents of your master key. So you just like paste, the contents of your master.key. So you just copy the contents of your master.key file, and then you just paste it in this, and then it's going to set the Rails master key variable in Heroku, and then everything is just going to work. So this is the basic workflow. And yeah, you should definitely use this in your applications. And yeah, that is basically how you do it. And I also have a gist that I'll share in Slack for you guys, so that you can you can see the commands that I used, and to push to Heroku, and also to use it locally. So lastly I just wanted to share a lesson that by just yesterday, and which might be useful to you guys, so that you guys don't make the same mistake that I did. So basically, the context is that I deployed an app yesterday that sends email to users, using SendGrid. So it actually has an API key. SendGrid provides me an API key, and I foolishly hard coded that API key into my Rails file. Repos in GitHub, nobody's going to notice that I have an API key out there. And so I just went out with my friends, and when I came back in the evening, I had actually made 14.22K emails sent in a day through my SendGrid add-on. And so basically this is insane. I cried for a little while, because this means that I'm tired of using this month is over. And the API, what I found interesting was that the API key was passed around quite a bit. So went to Ashburn, Virginia, then went to Chicago, then went to Germany, then again to America. So that was really interesting to me to find that there are people out there who probably are scraping GitHub, and trying to find out if there is anything sensitive. Then you should definitely, the first thing you should definitely do is put it inside Rails credentials, use the feature provided by Rails so that you guys don't get poached like I did. And well, that was the end of my small presentation. My name is Avi or Avi, and I'm a paid open source contributor at the Open Food Network. And yeah, I basically am replacing Angular there with Stimulus Reflex and Stimulus JS. And yeah, that's why I think that we can make reactive apps using just Rails. So if anybody wants to talk about it, I am in Slack. My username is Avi. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for Jonathan to organize this thing, and thank you all for being here. Thanks.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to ask?
One question related to the stimulus JS that you just mentioned. Like, I think Rails 7 has introduced this. So how would you suggest like a Rails 6, Rails 5 app with different frameworks for front end at least migrate to? Is it like production ready now? Have you built something big with it?
Yeah, actually, Rails 7 did not introduce Stimulus JS. It's been here, I think, since around Rails 5 or 6 at least.
6.
Yeah, 6. And I was not even programming Rails when Rails 6 was around. So yeah, it's been here for a long time. And yeah, the technology exists in creating Rails apps since Rails 6 using turbolinks. I think like right now you hear a lot about Turbo, right? In the Hotwire framework. So basically Turbo came from turbolinks, and that was in Rails 6. And people were using turbolinks and Stimulus.js back then to create reactive Rails applications. And there are tons of apps out there that utilize this technology, production grade apps, a lot of them that utilize this technology to, serve a spectacular experience to end users.
I think hey.com is probably one of the more well-known. So they've done their email service, so DHH's email service who built Rails. I think that's all using Stimulus now, as far as I know.
Yeah, no, but he's talking about Rails 6 app that uses Stimulus.js.
Sure, he was also asking about production level apps on Stimulus, using Stimulus as well.
Yeah,
so I think that's probably one of the bigger ones that I know of.
Yeah. So yeah, there are also other apps.
Yeah, I think Avi, you just don't like Vue and React, so you just want to stay using Rails and Stimulus, right? And that's it.
Yeah, have you checked out Vue components? Actually, I was looking into Vue components, and like this ecosystem of front end things that Rails has in 2022, and I was like pretty yeah. So I'm like very interested in it, and yeah, I would like to continue working with just vanilla Rails.
Yeah, you should, Duraj, you should go and listen to Avi's talk at the last meetup, which was specifically about Stimulus. I think it's recorded and on the RubyNepal channel as well, or RubyNepal YouTube. So you can check it out there.
I'm sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. So any other questions? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, like, if anybody wants to have a chat about using Stimulus Reflex, Hotwire into apps in Rails. So just you can find me in the Ruby on Rails Nepal Ruby on Rails Slack channel as Avi. So just ping me there, and we can have a chat about it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, don't ever commit your API keys ever to public GitHub. I think on AWS keys as well are pretty quickly scanned as well, and you'll be racked up on GPUs very, very quickly. So yeah, go ahead, Dinesh.
Yeah, regarding the credentials you're talking about, I have one. Well, I've faced this quite a lot, like in a common repository. Like there's a set of credentials in a credentials file, and then sometimes I want to update, like just for me, not for the team to share. Like, so how do you handle those situations? So those, I don't want to commit those credentials in the common repository.
Yeah, so like I had the situation before, and what I just did was I included the credentials.yml ENC file into my gitignore. So into my global gitignore, right? But then, yeah, you need to remember to actually remove it afterwards. Oh no, oh yeah, you can actually configure it just for your app, I guess, or something. But in my situation, what happened was that I had committed like config credentials files in my gitignore, in my global gitignore. So I did not realize that for other Rails app also, while I was editing new credentials, those were not being updated in my GitHub. So you need to remember to, remove that file from gitignore afterwards. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Are you mainly worried about, like, say, merge conflicts if you have a different file or a different piece of the file?
Generally, I have few set of files. Like one of them is configs and then a database YAML. For example, most of the time I work like in a different database, not the common name. The name is different, for example, and those kind of things.
Yeah, like the PG database username and password are different locally, right? I think that was my situation.
Yeah, for example, at least I have like these two files like modified locally and they're not committed. So I just have to keep in mind every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try few things like .env or Figaro Chamber. They are all based on this problem of configuration management. Before Rails gave us this solution of secrets. Yeah, you can try those.
Can you add those gems into the chat, Sarosh, so they can see them later?
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions? Cool.